Guys, you're never gonna believe this! Guys, what? Holy shit! Guys, what? You're never gonna believe this! I finally bought a Wii! Oh my god, I'm so excited to finally own a Wii! I've never done that before! Which is weird when you think about it. I mean, Nintendo made sure these things would fly off of store shelves. But the easy-to-understand motion controls and the simple yet addictive nature of games like Wii Sports. For a while there, owning a Wii was more popular in the state of Massachusetts. And you know, despite never owning one of these myself, I do still have a lot of nostalgia tied to this system. Played a lot of Super Smash Bros. Brawl and New Super Mario Bros. Wii at a friend's house, and I played a lot of Mario Party 8 and Wii Sports Resort at my aunt and uncle's house. Now, it's finally here. I finally have one myself, so enough stalling, let's grab a Wii remote, plug in a nunchuck, and turn the thing on. I can hardly contain my excitement. Time to finally play the Nintendo Wii! I forgot to buy games.
Video game consoles need video games. It's just a fact of life. Just like how all cars need gas. In both cases, if you don't have the necessary ingredients for the thing to function, then what you've essentially done is spent hundreds of dollars on a fancy looking box. That is until the introduction of the the 7th generation of consoles. Now, instead of the console having a panic attack when you forget to put a disc in, you're taken to a home menu with all sorts of things to do. You can mess around with the system settings. Okay, you should probably still looking to buy some video games, but at least now you're able to mess around with the thing you just spent hundreds of dollars on and aren't forced to just stare at a blank screen. And now there are virtual stores on consoles where you can buy games to download directly onto your console, but come on, I just spent a bunch of money I don't have on this thing. I want something for free! That's where the Nintendo Wii comes in. Not only do we have access to system settings, but we can also look at the news channel, the forecast channel, the Wii Shop channel, the photo channel.
Okay, this is ridiculous. I was trying to make a point and none of these channels are even working. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Alongside the introduction of the Nintendo Wii, Nintendo also introduced the Miis, customizable avatars that you can design to look like you, someone you know, or someone that looks nothing like any person that has ever existed ever. I've always really liked the name Miis, taking the W in Wii and flipping it over and BAM! Mii! It kind of feels like they came up with the name Miis first and then flipped the M upside down to create a parallel between the console and the avatars, especially since the Wii was first revealed as the Nintendo Revolution. I mean, that's not what happened, but I'm just saying it'd be pretty funny if it was. So let's boot up the Mii Channel. Alright, elephant in the room. The music here is fantastic. It's essentially elevator music. It's a catchy tune, and it's not so repetitive that it gets annoying to listen to for long periods of time. It's an incredibly iconic piece of music, and it is perfect for making Miis too. So we've got quite the variety of options here. We can change head shape, skin color, hairstyle, hair color, eyebrow shape, eyebrow color, eyebrow placement, eye shape, eye color, eye placement, nose shape, nose placement, mouth shape, mouth color, mouth position, add accessories like facial hair and glasses, change the color of those, change body height, change body width, choose a favorite color, a birthday, a name, decide if they're a favorite Mii or not, which basically boils down to having red pants or not. And voila! I made Mii.
And yeah, it's pretty much the Mii Maker.
It's not really missing anything, and you can pretty much make anyone you want. Actually, that's a lie. There is one thing missing. There's no full beard option, so if you want to make someone with a full beard, you have to resort to something like this, and that just doesn't look right. But still, making these is a lot of fun, getting your friends or family together and either making something that looks as close to the real thing as possible, or something completely cursed that should be burned at the stake is an experience you can't really get anywhere else. So once you make a Mii, it gets dropped into the Mii Plaza. Here you can edit Miis, erase Miis, make new Miis, and organize your Miis if you don't want them to just walk around aimlessly. We've also got a couple options over here to send your Miis to other places. There's the Mii Parade, which doesn't work anymore since Nintendo shut down their online service for the Wii. You can send Miis to a friend, which doesn't work anymore since Nintendo shut down their online service for the Wii. And you can store some Miis in a Wii remote to... Alright, so I bought my Wii used, however, it was factory reset, so I didn't get any WiiWare games or anything else on it that might have any insight on the previous owners. However, the Wii remotes I got still had Mii stored on them, and I will be dead in the ground before I delete any of these off my console. The previous owners of these remotes' legacy will live on through my Wii. Anyways, you can store Miis on your remote so that, like, if you bring your remotes to a friend's house, you can move the Miis you made on your Wii to your friend's Wii, so you can use them there without having to make new ones. But I mean, making a Mii is still fun enough on its own that I don't think anybody cared that they had to make a new one.
And that's the Mii Maker on Wii, and what a magical experience it is. Forcing someone to make a Mii that doesn't already have one on your console and then seeing what they make is such a fun thing to do. And it's just like Nintendo to make an avatar creator enjoyable for not just the people making, but for the people watching too. And everybody loves Miis, so much so that Nintendo's made sure to bring them back for every single console going forward from the Wii. So let's take a look at those!
The DS didn't have a dedicated Mii Maker, but it did have a couple games with Mii Makers built in, Personal Trainer Walking and Tomodachi Collection, but I don't have either of those games, so never mind. Let's move over to the 3DS, which does have a dedicated Mii Maker. And I mean, yep, this sure is the Mii Maker on 3DS. We've got a lot more options for, well, pretty much everything. More heads, hairs, eyes, noses, mouths, facial hair, and more colors for everything too. It's just on the 3DS, which takes a lot of the community aspect out of making Miis. You could have a bunch of people crowd around you or just show people after you finish, but that takes a lot of the fun out of it. However, we do have a new option to have the 3DS make a Mii from a picture we take with the 3DS camera. We choose a couple features we want, snap a picture, and presto, we get the 3DS trying its hardest.
Aww, it's trying so hard. It looks kinda like me.
This feature came back on the Wii U edition of the Mii Maker, and this version has a similar problem with the 3DS one. For some reason, you can only do editing on the gamepad, and no one on the TV can see what you're making, so once again, you're left without the community aspect of Mii Maker, which is half of its charm. There's no new options for customizing here, it's the same as on 3DS, so let's ignore the Wii U, it's used to it by now, and move on to the Nintendo Switch.
Where is it?
So for whatever reason, Nintendo decided to bury the Mii Maker in settings. Why? Would it have killed them to make it an actual app? Or at least one of these buttons down here? I don't think that would have been out of place at all. Hiding the Mii Maker back here almost feels like Nintendo didn't want us to find it, which doesn't make any sense because you can use your Miis as your profile icon.
And the worst part is, there's no music!
Am I in trouble? Why isn't anyone saying anything? The music on the 3DS Mii Maker, it was pretty similar to the one on the Wii. It was good, but not as good. The Wii U Mii Maker went for a different style altogether. It sounds a bit more airy, a little more background noisy than an actual song. I mean, nothing's ever going to top the original song on Wii, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't try!
Whatever, at least we have a Mii Maker on Switch. Now, making Miis is fun and all, but it would be kinda lame if all you could do is make Miis and that's it. Fortunately, Nintendo was gracious enough to let us play as our Miis in a bunch of different games, so let's jump into some of those.
The Wii series of games, Wii Sports, Play, Fit, Music, etc., all feature the Miis as playable characters. And since Wiis were bundled with Wii Sports, that makes sense. You make a Mii and then you go play as it in this game you got bundled in with your system for free. Outside of the Wii, though, Miis make minor playable appearances, like in certain mini-games in Mario Party 8, for example. Then they were often used as save file icons, like with Super Mario Galaxy. Moving on to the 3DS, we have probably one of the best games to ever feature Miis, Tomodachi Life. You throw a bunch of Miis onto an apartment on an island, and you just sort of let them live. You play little games with them, shop for food, clothing, and room interiors for them, force them to participate in musical numbers, you kinda just do whatever with them. It's a lot of fun, although it's pretty easy to see everything the game has to offer in a pretty short amount of time. but it's still fun to come back to from time to time. It's one of my favorite 3DS games, and I hope it gets a port to Switch someday. Just like Miitopia got! Miitopia is an RPG with Miis. There's an evil bad guy who steals everyone's face, and go stop him. Except with the Switch port, there's so much more customization. You can make your Miis look like literally anyone with pretty crazy accuracy. And on top of that, this is actually a pretty solid title. I mean, I only played a little bit of the Switch demo, but so far this is the only game where I can fight Kirby the Dark Lord with Goku from Dragon Ball, Master Chief from Halo, and my original Mii Chad. I love it. Then we have Nintendo Land on the Wii U. Nintendo Land is essentially the Wii U's Wii Sports in the sense that it's really damn good. You got a bunch of different mini-games from different Nintendo franchises that you play with your Miis. And there's a good variety of games here too, and they're all pretty spectacular. There's loads of Nintendo fan service, and they make excellent use of the Wii U gamepad, something not every Wii U game can claim to do. And Miis were added to Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, and were brought back for Ultimate. These games allow you to pick one of 3 fighter types, Brawler, Sword Fighter, and Gunner, and then lets you pick from a bunch of different moves within those fighter types. You can also give them different outfits, and in Ultimate you can give them voices. Perfect.
And that's pretty much it in terms of the more notable games that feature Miis. Obviously they show up in a lot more games than this, but these are just the ones that are the most prominent. And yeah, that's Miis. You know, I feel like Miis have been getting less and less attention from Nintendo lately. Sure, we got the Miitopia port to Switch, but that's pretty much all the focus they've gotten in the past few years. Which is weird, because Miis are Nintendo staples at this point. I can't imagine what it would be like without them. Sure, they might not be the most complicated things on the planet, but they do what they need to. Making Miis, much like the Wii itself, just sort of brings people together. And there's something special about being able to make a character and then play as it in all these different games. And because of that, you can make a lot of memories with Miis. Coming back to a Nintendo console after a few years and seeing all the Miis you made on it is a really easy way to remember all the good times you had with it. So I think Miis need to stick around. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go buy actual games for my Wii. I can't live off of just making Miis, and I can't use the forecast channel, so I need actual games. I completely forgot my car doesn't have any gas in it. Definitely should have sprung for that bundle with gas as a pack-in title. That extra steering wheel would have been nice for multiplayer too.